start with a little scene just to.
We do that every time. We warm up every time like that. And Felipe just had never presses record.
Never press record.
And as soon as Sam tees up the first specific thing to happen in the scene, I wipe it.
And wipe.
So that I don't have to.
I don't want to be there.
To do it. I don't want to do it next. Yeah.
Welcome. Raisin Man Arena listeners. It's Tuesday, 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard
November
Time.
1st.
November 1st. Happy Halloween yesterday.
Happy Halloween yesterday. Halloween is over. We're free. We don't have to think about
You know when people go,
pumpkins.
I needed this on my desk yesterday. I needed it to be Halloween yesterday. And it was.
Yes. Just in time.
Just in time
Wait,
for
listen
when
to
I needed
this. Wee Yummy is saying, I think audio out of sync for me.
it. Oh,
no.
wait, let's see. Center chat.
New month,
There's a lot of new changes.
new audio.
No. Do not worry.
I think it's splurting.
I'll go get the coffee.
Thank you.
It's splurting out of the spigot. Okay,
What's
wait.
up? 4 p.m. on Tuesday.
If the video is out of sync with the audio, Tokyo Megaplex saying it's out of sync, but it doesn't really matter.
Because
yes.
you can look away.
No, it does matter. It do matter.
Because it does matter, because some people like to watch.
So, tell me now if it's out of sync.
Tell us if it's out of sync, and if you're not interested in whether or not it's out of sync, here's a different prompt. Tell us, what is it that you're doing on 4 p.m. on a Tuesday that you're able to tune in right now?
Yes.
What are you doing? We want to know what the people are doing at 4 o'clock and whether or not this should be our new time.
My unemployed friend at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday,
Yeah.
recording Raisin Man Arena,
Yes.
listening to Raisin Man Arena.
Okay, Tokyo's telling us the video is still probably 500 ms slow.
What is MS?
Milliseconds.
Are you
Milliseconds.
trolling us? If it's out of sync enough that it's bothering you, please tell me. That's really all I need to know.
And it's okay if it
I
is.
Wait,
love
what's
this.
happening with
Speak
the
up.
coffee?
It wasn't full.
It wasn't splurting?
It wasn't all the way full, so I let it go for a little longer.
But now it's
Gives me a
making
little- gives me a
noises.
Chill.
What do you mean?
Now I just gotta chill.
You gotta chill from it?
Yeah, from something.
It's fine. Everybody, it's fine.
Half a second. So the sound. Wow.
It's like a second-ish. It's 1,000 milliseconds. Okay.
I love this. I love getting on a computer with you two and yelling at people in the chat.
Yes, Irby Werby's animating. That's right. Again, the second prompt, if you don't care about the sync problem, is to tell us what are you doing
What
at
are
4
you
p.m.
doing?
on Tuesday that you're free right now to listen.
I wonder how many animators listen to this podcast.
How many animators
It's an
listen?
animator's podcast.
It is
Animators podcast.
at least 60%. 66.6 repeating of the podcast is animators.
Chris wants to know, can you make the image overly sharp again?
Well, that's the problem. So I had put a sharpen filter on the image to match the aesthetic that I like to do online. But I think that the sharpen filter was making the processing of the image a lot slower, which was my theory for why we were out of sync. Now, can you tell me if that's the case?
It's out of sync.
Or is it out of sync? Should I just make it sharp? It'll still be out of sync. I'd rather the audio not sync than have the image not be all sharp. Okay.
That's funny. I'll also raise this question. It has always been... I have always believed that it was impossible for all three of us to be on one camera on the screen. And yet today I show up, and all three of us are on a single camera on the screen.
Yes.
What explains that? What explains that?
I wanted it more this time.
Wow.
I just didn't want it enough before. No, well, we got a new camera, and it is wide-angle lens, and we took kind of a break from the podcast, I'd say. You know, it's been kind of rough.
We did a fall break.
It's been choppy waters.
Yeah, it's been a little choppy waters.
Some episodes you're not on, some episodes we skipped, and then
We're
I
on
thought,
the sea on a little boat.
yeah. And then I thought, also someone told me that the place, guess where people listen to podcasts the most? What platform do people listen to podcasts the most on?
YouTube.
Yeah, you knew. And I couldn't even surprise you with that information. How did you know that?
How did I know? Because I listen to all my music on YouTube. I don't care. Even
Do you have music read?
No. I listen to the ads before every song. And then a lot of times after a song, a 2-minute ad rolls. I listen to the ads.
How do I add a 500 millisecond delay on the audio? I mean, you probably don't know, but I'm like, how?
Wow, that sounds like something awesome that we could work on after we wrap.
This is awesome. Is
When I go
having a
watching
conversation for the first 10 minutes of Raisin Man is like trying to hike up a mountain with
Yes.
like a ball and chain
Wow.
strapped to your leg.
And we've
you
had
know?
more listeners than in months. on the
Yeah,
live
wow, we
stream,
really
and we're
have a lot of
talking about,
listeners.
The millisecond delay.
Do you think it's because we are doing it at a better time during the day, or do you think that we have more listeners because
there's been a break?
we've been gone for so long?
I think
and
because we're
people
doing it
are-
at a better time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, man, we should do this podcast.
You're right. I guess this podcast doesn't suck and has no
Alright,
point.
podcast doesn't suck.
Yeah, wait, so let me finish the story. So then I thought, well, we've been gone. Let's do a change. Let's do something new. Also, let's start posting it to YouTube. And I thought, well, in order to do that, the video should be a lot nicer. And so in order to do that, let's just use this wide-angle lens camera and fill the screen rather than
Gorgeous.
the way we were doing it
That's
before.
great.
Gorgeous.
And we appear more like friends now,
exactly
which is
what,
what
I was
we
thinking.
are.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Right, before I was in a little screen jail.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
And Sarah and I were being deposed on the couch,
That's
like
right.
we're in front of Congress.
All right, well, now that we've talked about all the kind of circumstantial, technical stuff,
Yeah.
then we have to find a topic that we actually have
Let's
to talk about.
get right into it.
We'll get this, guys. My fingers smell like bleach. Do you know why? Because I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning, ready to go, and the first thing that was on my list of things to do was to take these pants that were white that had this massive stain on them
Sam
I got from Life World.
Sam pooped his pants.
No, I didn't poop my
Sam
pants.
doo-dooed his pants.
I didn't poop my pants. I got them
Yeah.
on at Life World, and I have half a mind to be compensated
No.
by the
No.
owners and operators of Life World
What
because
happened?
my pants were ruined.
What happened? During the blood spurting?
No, there was just some black bullshit on them, and it right in the crack, like right in the crease,
Oh,
and
God.
going all the way up to like the top of my butt. So
It was so
really
it was such a
Hair?
fortuitous stain that looked exaczly the way it would look if Sam
Yes.
doo-dooed in his pants.
Yes, and unfortunately, it's black, so it's not the color of doo doo. But I thought this stain is such a problem precisely because of how it's positioned on
Right,
the body
right,
that
right.
it looks more nasty than it is. If it was on the leg, it would have been fine. It would have been like, okay, cool, you know, this
You
guy.
got it from one of the chairs?
From something. I think it was from the couch.
So wait, so you wake up at 5 a.m. today and you go, let me bleach my pants?
Yes, well, it didn't. I had
Mm.
left them soaking in bleach overnight in cold water, which is what you're supposed to do. And I've just been down like a rabbit hole of like how to get stains out of clothing. And it's like,
oh my God.
you soak it in bleach. This is the type of bleach. Is it hot water or cold water? And like, I never understood this about clothes either, but like, you're not supposed to rub them. You're supposed to blot them,
Blot
which
them.
doesn't
Blot.
Otherwise
fucking
it
make
gets
It
sense.
doesn't
more
make
into
sense.
the
How are you going to
fabric.
blot?
It doesn't
Because
fucking
How
you
are you
get
make
it
gonna
sense.
out. You're taking it out. You don't want to rub it in.
But like, what blotting does nothing. Nothing.
Right?
But then I'm
Okay,
doing
keep your
the
voice
bleach.
down.
I'm doing the bleach,
It
and
doesn't-
fucking rubbing doesn't do anything either.
I'm
and I was
sorry.
like, they were like, the nuclear option is to pour bleach directly onto the stain.
Oh my
Do
God.
not dilute it with
Nuclear.
water. And I did that, and left it for 5 minutes, and the stain is still there.
Did you try just giving it a wash first?
Yes.
Okay.
Which
sorry.
is what you're not supposed to do.
Felipe, if you
You're not
dare
supposed to put it in the dryer.
fuck around with this.
I'm fixing it. I'm
Okay.
fixing it. You guys keep vamping. I looked at the
Sarah,
tutorial
this
that Chris
is-
sent me.
This is something I think you could sympathize with.
Mm-hmm.
If you take when you get a stain on your pants, you're not supposed to take it to the laundry and put it through the laundry machine.
Because they're gonna
Or
get
the
mad.
dryer.
They're gonna yell at you.
No, because if you dry it before the stain gets out, it'll really set in.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
And if you use
it's
hot water,
strange
it might
because
set in.
it's you think it was the opposite, which is
Yeah.
that if you put it through the washer and the dryer, the stain would go away.
But why
Yeah.
doesn't it go away?
Well, like, so if you get blood on something, you're supposed to like use cold water to get it out, and if you put hot water on it and then you put it in the dryer, which is also hot, it just like bakes the stain in more.
Yeah, you don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
So this is a whole domestic female world that I haven't been initiated into
It's
at
true.
all.
Yep.
And
It's
so
female tendencies.
I was learning about this all online this morning for the first time, and washing my pants at 5:30 in the morning in the sink while all my roommates were asleep, and I was just like, it was just unbelievable to me that I thought bleach was the final solution,
I know. You would
Right.
think.
Yeah.
but it's not.
Let me ask you this: is bleach a little bit like a Horcrux, where it gets the job done, but it takes a little bit of your soul away? AKA, does it destroy the textile a little bit? If you put bleach on clothes, does it
everyone
fuck
was
them
saying
up?
it destroys the textile, but my pants feel no different.
Yeah, some people use bleach to like tie dye things with, and it looks cool. So it's not like
Hmm.
that dangerous. I don't think.
But are these your $10,000
no. Oh,
high
no.
beast pants?
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This
We're going
is-
to do a fundraiser show to get Sam.
right.
These are the
That's
pants
right.
that Sam bought during his fashion arc.
God.
That's right.
Fuck. Okay, well, we'll
That's
figure
right.
it
He's
out.
been in his
We'll figure
fashion
it
arc
out.
buying
So now,
strange clothes.
now I messaged Sarah at like 6 a.m.
I
like,
know.
do you have tie dye, gray tie dye? Because I think I'm gonna dye them gray now.
Yeah. Well, I could get you some.
I'm
At
gonna.
Michael's.
This is the last you'll hear from me. If the audio and the video are better, please tell me. I fixed it. Please tell me if it's looking a little bit
Please.
better. That's all. That's it.
And another prompt, you can tell us what you were for Halloween if you don't want to talk about the sink.
Oh
Annie
yeah.
Brennan says I should have sucked it like poison.
Oh, welcome, Annie Brennan, first time chat. I have gotten a message specifically from her that we should do Raisin Man at a better time.
Hell
So,
fucking yeah.
um,
That rules.
Sam had a, he had a bad weekend because not only did you do your pants at Life World on Friday, then on Saturday we went to a party and you left your bag there. And the party wasn't just at a club, because if it's at a club or at a bar, you just go back, you go, hey, I left my bag. They have a, I was about to say search and destroy, lost and found is what I meant. But this was a person's house.
So they're just going to tell you to eat shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sam's like,
Don't
and
come to my house.
and
Don't
s-
come to my house.
we had
Yeah.
the code. We had the door code. That's how you got in. It was
Yeah.
like, come to this house, put the door code. Sam goes, you think I can just go put the door code and walk into the patio? And I said, that's a person's house. Couldn't come out with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Legally,
And
they'd be
I-
allowed to take
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
measures.
stand your ground laws, dude.
Yeah.
And I did that today, and it worked. My bag was right where I left it.
Wow. Wow.
So
And you can't. They came out
one
with a
door
gun and you
closes,
de-armed
another
them.
opens. Yeah. Yeah.
Disarmed them.
Wait,
But
sorry, did you
inside
say
of the
that you
bag
got
was
him?
a little guy.
You got the bag.
You said that you got the bag.
Got the bag.
Was there anything new in there?
I hadn't looked. It would be funny to imagine there's a little guy in there.
Oh,
But
yeah, like a little gnome or...
yeah, like a little New Yorker.
Mhm.
Hey, I'm living in here now.
Yeah.
You know. But no, I didn't look. But it was funny because I was trying to get in, and there was another guy with his phone open, looking at the building, who was also clearly trying to get into that spot.
Really?
And then when I went in, he went in too, and I was like, "Are we both not supposed to be here?" But I.
What did he say?
He didn't say anything to me.
Did you
And I-
say, are we both supposed to be here? Or were you like, are we both supposed to be here?
I didn't.
Did you say it out loud?
Were you like?
Right, because sometimes
I'm
you say,
confused.
sometimes
Say
I,
I
You're
was
bearing
like-
down. on me
sometimes
from both
sometimes you
sides.
say, I said to him, we're not supposed to be here. Another way
Oh.
you can say it is, I was
I was
like,
like,
are we not supposed to be here?
That's internal.
It's internal. I was
Yeah.
just like that, but I didn't say that.
But
Sorry.
sometimes you say I was like that, and then you did say.
And
it.
you did say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was internal.
So you were just like that, but you didn't say it.
Yes. Yes. Well, we both had the air of people who didn't live there and who were kind of like figuring out how to get in.
Like,
But I acted like I lived there, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk in here and be as if I.
So
lived
there was
there.
no one that came out and sat in their underpants with a newspaper and slippers and
No.
said, this is my house.
No. Thank God.
And your bag was untouched.
My bag was untouched.
Was it wet? Because it rained.
It was wet,
It was wet.
but
Okay.
this was a nice bag, and so the inside of it's waterproof on the inside.
It was
Yeah.
Arcturix, so all the beads were,
Yeah,
were
it was
beating up.
It's filled with beads on the
Yeah.
inside. Now.
Yeah.
ye-
I got a message in the Life World account this morning from someone who we don't follow, so it just comes into the request folder, you know.
Mm.
And they lost their water bottle, and they wanted to know if we'd seen it. Which to me, if you lose your water bottle,
Yeah, that's not worth
game
a
over.
message.
Yeah, let it go. Move on. You,
You
know,
get that
life's
stuff in
short.
goodie bags.
Totally,
like,
totally. Just
yeah.
take somebody else's water bottle.
Yeah.
But when someone sends you a message request with an image in it, they don't show you the image. I think in case it's like something sexual or like violent.
Mhm.
So it's just like a blurred photo of someone's pink water bottle, and I just thought that was kind of funny because it
That
looks
is
like it's
funny.
like a dick pic, but yeah.
That is funny. How did it?
Look, Kay said we saw the water bottle pink. Yes,
Oh,
that's
wow.
exactly the one.
When did you see
You
it?
got to get in touch with this person.
When did you see the water bottle, okay?
It was blurred
Okay.
out and it looked like a penis.
When did you see the water bottle?
What is that blurry water bottle doing here? So how did your show go, Sarah?
I thought it was
Scariest
great.
parts of scary movies.
I had such a fun time.
It killed.
Yes. I had such a fun time. And I famously do not have fun at shows.
I know. I was
one.
about to say, when you do these kinds of shows, you have fun. When you do your solo, you do not have fun.
Yes. Well, even when I did this show last year, I remember being kind of stressed out the whole time. And this time, I honestly think it's because I've decided to take a break from, performing. And it just like takes a lot of pressure off to be like, oh, I'm not even really trying to do this right now. I'm just like, I am just literally doing this for fun.
Right.
And it's not part of some like larger life mission or goal I've been working towards for 15 years where like the outcome of this show really impacts how I feel about myself.
Yeah.
It's like, this is purely like the means to an end in itself.
This is just a way to make money.
Yes, totally. Totally. And it was so fun. I had such a good time. And I think that Will, when you listen to the episode, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think the man in the screen bit was my idea to have Ian in the white, and I
Mhm.
thought that was great.
It
I
killed.
loved it. Yeah.
It killed.
And
it-
Peter did a great job.
Peter
too.
did a great job.
I told him, Will was like, can you save a seat next to you for Peter? And then I did. And then he was sitting a row in front of me, like by himself. And I was like, Peter, man, we saved a seat next to you. And he was like, no, I'm good. I was like, no, come on, like, man, sit next to us. And I was like, he's tall. My girlfriend's behind him. Sit next
He's
to me.
fucking us.
And I got kind of pissed off that
Wait,
he
did-
wouldn't
Really?
move. And then when I saw his bit,
Yeah.
I thought, smart man. Thank God
Thank
he didn't
God.
sit next to
Because
me.
then not only, well, let me describe the bit, because I was going to say,
Yeah.
I'll start it with the most important part. Not only would you have gotten doo-doo on your pants, blood on your shirt as well. Why?
Yeah.
This was the bit. So there's curtains were up, so you couldn't see you were going to project videos. Curtains were up, correct? The
Yes.
curtains were drawn, so you couldn't even see the screen where the videos would be projected. And then you go, okay, you do a little intro, and then you go, now the show's about to start. You open the curtains to reveal the screen where the videos will be projected. And Ian is standing on the screen wearing all white, and his face is white. So it's almost like he's camouflaged, but he's not. You can see him very well. And then you keep talking.
We pretend we can't see him.
Pretend you can't see him. And then Peter, who's sitting on the front, he points to the screen. And he goes, there's a man. He's screaming, there's a man in the screen. There's a man in the screen. And then he pops a blood thing on his neck and pretends that he bleeds to death.
Yeah.
Which was what Ian did last year.
Yes,
Which
that's
is
right.
so funny. But the blood flew everywhere. Did anyone get splashed?
I don't think so, because he
No
was in
one
the
got
very front
splashed.
row, and he was next to the person who was helping with the blood, so that person was prepared. But last year, Sarah Winnick got blood all over her white
Really?
pants, and she wasn't mad about it,
Her-
which I was really impressed
Her
by.
white pants?
Yes, her white pants.
But the blood is made so that it doesn't stain,
It's supposed
right?
to wash
It's
out.
made out of
Yeah.
ketchup.
But it's still annoying.
It's
And it was
still
funny as we were
annoying.
planning it, I was like, I think we really have to warn the people around him. Like, if that were me and I got shit all over me, I would be
I
upset.
would be pissed.
And Will was like, but it's a Halloween show. People have to expect that kind of thing can happen. I was like, why would they? When does that ever happen?
Wow.
That people from the show get
runs,
shit all over
that
you.
runs so contrary to Will's usual
He's so
disposition, which he's like,
conscientious.
the audience cannot be, it's like, we have to be
Yes,
careful about every
totally,
possible
totally.
avenue.
He's goofy about
And
it.
here he's like,
He's such a
Fuck 'em.
motherfucker. He's such a motherfucker.
honestly, I'm surprised. Second year in a row, I'm surprised that you guys don't do a content warning. And I think it's just because I get scared. I get
That's
genuinely
funny.
scared, and
That's
some of the clips you guys show are violent
Like,
and upsetting.
That's
You-
typical. That is the kind of world you want to live in, Felipe, where there's
Yeah.
trigger warnings,
Yeah.
content warnings.
I mean, I
for
didn't
s-
used to
for
think
spooky stuff.
I didn't used to think that way, but now after I got scared during that clip,
the Ganji Haunted Asylum.
Which clip
one?
scared you?
honestly, the first one where Ryan Reynolds gets that alien that goes into his mouth, it just like it upsets me. Something about it upsets me really viscerally. It's just
Aw.
violent and
that does
awful.
also
Yeah.
upset me. I put shit in my mouth all the time.
Yeah, that's funny. That's why I wanted to do the show in the first place, because I don't feel that affected by scary movies.
Really?
Even though
So
you're
it
an
was kind of
extreme
a
empath?
search to find something.
Not even seeing the scariest parts back to back.
No, I mean, they'll freak me out. Like, usually I have to watch them at night to really know if they're scary or not. Because if you watch just clips on YouTube of scenes in a movie in the middle of the afternoon, it just doesn't affect you at all. But if you're like in bed alone, it's dark, you're watching this thing, I can get scared, but it doesn't stick with me unless it's like torture and imprisonment.
Well, but to me, that thing that happens to Ryan Reynolds in that clip is torture. Scary is not a big deal. A ghost, a monster, that Korean girl going. That is fine because it's scary, but it's thrilling. But then when the alien goes in Ryan Reynolds' mouth and you see him like it's like destroying his
damage.
insides, that to me is
Torture.
like a kind of torture.
That's what they did in the
Yeah.
in the Dirty War.
Correct.
Yes, but
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
that was
America.
like it's a made up alien. If it's humans doing things to each other that they
Yeah.
can conceivably do in
Wow.
real life, that's what upsets me.
Really, that's
Yeah.
the line you draw.
Yeah, that's the line I draw. If it's just
So
a
if it's a
monster,
human getting
wish-
shot by a bullet, sad. If it's a human getting shot by a bullet, sad. If it's a human getting shot by a laser, not sad.
I guess so.
Wow.
You should have you seen the rest of that clip because it climbs out of his mouth.
It does,
Yes,
but he still dies.
and he
But he's still
He's not
he's-
alive.
well, yeah, he dies.
Yeah, he does.
But
die.
and it's much bigger. And I thought it was interesting because the alien, when it's smaller, I think is conceptually a scarier idea
Totally.
Yeah.
than when it's bigger.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
When it's big, you can kind of wrestle with it.
You can wrestle, and it's not climbing in your mouth.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so Scary
it was
Sports,
really
Scary Movies
fun.
was good.
Oh, what?
Yes.
You don't want to talk about? You just blaze
Oh.
past that?
No, let's keep talking about it. So who's
no,
the,
I
who's the
thought of something
alien?
to say
No,
about
go ahead.
that. But I'm going to say something else instead,
Go.
which is that we do have like some consternation every year over like there's some really good scary clips that are relate to suicide or like things like that.
The
where
one you guys showed had a hanging.
we didn't show.
Yes, you did.
Which?
No,
From the
she's hovering. She's not.
No,
hanging.
she's hanging.
hovering. She's hovering.
She's
Really?
She's a
hovering.
ghost. She got ghost.
no, she's hanging, and you guys are. That's cope. You guys are doing cope. She's hanging.
She's hovering.
I think she's hovering. It's paranormal.
It's paranormal, my man.
I think she's hanging because she's. In Paranormal Activity 3 at the end is the wife or girlfriend hanging or hovering?
Is that at the end of the movie?
I
Yeah.
think that might be the climax of the movie.
That's the end.
Yeah. Which-
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I know.
But I thought
That was the scariest clip to me, and I thought that was maybe halfway through, maybe in the beginning of the movie.
That's the thing with Paranormal Activity movies is I find them not that enjoyable to watch because so little happens for like the vast majority of the movie, and then finally, you're just seeing all this like found footage or security home footage, and it's like just little stuff, and then in the last like 5 minutes, you get a crazy sequence of
Mhm.
fucked up shit
Sam,
happening.
when that guy finds that coven of old women inside of his shed, you think that where does the movie go from there?
I would.
It's
I say
curtains.
You start at the most interesting point.
Because now that he's found that there's a bunch of old women in his shed, it's curtains.
Take your screenplay
It's curtains.
and take the first 15 pages and rip them off.
Sure.
Wherever page 15 is, that's where your story starts.
Fair enough.
You hear those listening in the chat.
Fair enough.
We had Ike on the show. We decided to book Ike. We decided to have less live stand-up comedians
That was
this year,
smart.
which I think was smart. We had Ike and then we had the amazing Amy, who's a contortionist. But Ike was so good, and we wanted him because we were like, he's like an atmospheric comedian. And last year, everybody who was on the show was great, but we did have that problem of like, we're showing all these scary clips. The show is so heavily themed and specific, and then people have to get on and like do their bits about like going to the grocery store or
Yeah.
something annoying
Right.
happened on the train. Yeah, so it's like kind of doesn't really feel right to them. But Ike is so like ambient. He just is like up there, like a guy just speaking to the people
Totally.
in the room. So yeah, I really felt so much admiration like watching him because he just talks for such a long time, and even if he's not getting laughs, all he has to do is at the end of like a long kind of like meandering thing just be like, well, anyways, and
Yeah.
then like everybody like goes crazy. Yeah. And
I love to watch.
yeah,
I hadn't seen him
love
in a
watching him.
while. I hadn't
Yeah.
seen him in a while.
Sometimes it doesn't work, But
You mean for him
sometimes
specifically?
Yeah, but sometimes it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
great.
he's great.
But that's true for everybody. I'm not really
Yeah.
not really being
That's a
edgy, not
softball.
throwing out an
That's
interesting
true for everybody.
idea.
For everybody, it sometimes doesn't work.
Yeah.
yeah.
The audience doesn't like you. They like see you and they're like, I don't like the.
I'm just
The cut
happy
of
to
that
be
guy's
here on the
jib.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, just keep trying stuff out like that, though, Sam. I think
Okay,
you're
cool.
orbiting around an interesting idea.
Then there was a part in the show where we showed this scene from The Exorcist 3, and then I asked the audience like what were the scary parts in it, and it was like being a teacher, and I found it really fun. And then afterwards, Sarah told me I would be a great teacher, and I was like, well, maybe I would be if it was all just.
Well,
being
she
like-
would say that because she
Yeah.
doesn't. I asked her. She doesn't believe in lecturing, and I was like, it was at that night. I've known Sarah for so long, and I know her teaching philosophy,
yeah.
which is very like you let the students
answers
run
are
the
all
class.
inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I was like talking to her, and I was like, "You never lecture," which was a strange question for me to ask because I've known her for so long, and I know that she doesn't lecture. But she
Yeah.
said, "No, of course not." And then I thought, "You should lecture." I actually think sometimes lecturing is good.
Yeah, and Sarah's wise and smart. She got a lot she could say.
Um,
Yeah.
You know what? That Exorcist clip, I didn't find it scary. I have this thing where it's like old movies are not as scary, and sometimes people are like, "No, the great classics, they're
Oh,
so
absolutely,
terrifying."
They're not scary.
And it's like they
They're
are not scary. They are
not
scary.
They are
Not
not
scary.
scary.
Yes.
Do you think?
And then Carly was like, "That Exorcist clip was so much scarier than Paranormal Activity." I'm like,
No.
"You are being a snob right now.
No.
It is not as scary as a
No.
guy POV walking through his house and it's dark. If it's like filmed on film,
totally.
you know, in the 1970s,
I wanna-
less scary."
Yeah, if I want to actually get scared, it has to be like made in the last 20 years. Like I'll more likely be scared at like a totally not artful, high budget, just like slasher horror movie that just came out than I would at like a classic
Totally.
horror
And why do you
film.
think that is, guys? Do you think they just didn't know how to do it in the old days?
I think I don't know. It's a good question. I think that you have to keep sort of subverting
Right.
pacing and like the ways in which you build up to the scary moments because everything is kind of building on like I feel like in the old days you could literally just do like some ominous music and then a jump scare and people are like scared. And now it has to be like ominous music that leads to what you think is going to be the jump scare but that's not actually it, and then something else you think is going to be it but that's
Yeah.
not actually it, and then it actually happens a half a second after that, you know, or something to like feel surprising.
Right.
Yeah.
I think horror and comedy are similar in that way.
Where it's like it's the same sort of tricks being used. But
Totally.
you have to keep kind of reconfiguring.
They're really dependent on a kind of formal rhythm that has to be constantly innovated on because they're both predicated on surprise.
Yeah.
Like a moment-to-moment surprise, and you have to know what the audience is like already expecting.
Yes.
I don't like in horror movies early on when there's like fake jump scares where like a girl it's like unpacking groceries from a car and then she like turns around and the neighbor's there suddenly and he's
You
like,
don't like
"Oh,
that?
ah," and then she's like, "Sorry, you just scared me." And I'm like, that I think that's always annoying. to
Why?
me.
Just
Yeah, it's just like it's the idea is that the audience member is supposed to jump, you know, and like it always felt like it's like watching a joke that bombs in a movie, and they're like, I know they want me to laugh at this, but I don't think it's funny. It's like I know they want me to think I'm scared and to have me jump in that moment, but it's stupid.
yeah.
Imagine if instead of stand-up comedians you had sort of scary performers, and then the way that they gauged was that whether they were successful or not was whether the audience jumped in fear, and then you have open mics for them, and they get up and they each do like a scary thing, and you know you like add tags to your scary thing. And different
Yeah.
people scream or don't scream. And you're like, I bombed tonight.
And
or I
people,
got
Yeah.
killed.
comedians would complain about a room not being a scary room.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't be called
Yeah.
comedians; they would be called scarers or something.
Scarers.
Scarers.
That room's it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to be scary in that room. The
Yeah.
ceilings are so high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
high ceilings are scarier
The
because it's
screams,
like
Yeah.
the screams just go up into the,
Yeah, I
the
can
air,
hear
you
it.
know.
Yeah. Well, I think also it's like in comedy, you know, you don't have to be that creative with the structure if you come up with a truly funny and original observation. And similarly in horror, like I don't know if you guys remember this clip from last year, we showed The Taking of Deborah Long. They have this really scary image of just like an old woman just eating a child. You
don't
remember
know
that?
if
It's like
I
in a cave.
remember
And it just like
that.
it's just a simple jump scare. They're like walking through the cave, they got a flashlight, and then they just hit her. And it's such a scary image that like even though
Yeah.
it's unoriginal and it's like pacing and everything, you're just like, that looks scary as shit. And I feel this way about comedy. It's like if someone just thinks of a thing that you're like, oh my God, that's such a
yeah.
funny thing.
Like
to think
I want to
of.
be in good enough shape that if I die, people ask what happened.
Yeah.
That observation will never
Never
be
get
funny.
old.
Yeah.
Jeremy says horror and comedy have no overlap.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. What Felipe keep looking at? He keeps looking at the sync and the data on the screen. He's
Oh
got
wait,
all
does
the
it look
numbers
like
kinda
a?
pouring
No,
in.
you know what I'm looking at? Where's my coffee cup? Oh, it's right there. Hold
Looking
on.
at his coffee cup and
Yeah.
wondering what it means is kind of like a found object.
Yeah. Do I have anything else to say about the show, or should I talk about the next
Do
thing?
you think Hitchcock movies are scary? Because those were made a long time ago.
No.
They're scary if you're a nerd.
Yeah.
I think the birds are kind of scary. The
I was
sound
gonna
they
say
make
that's
is
not scary. Yeah.
It's not scary the same way that like that. It's a good movie. It's a better movie, but I'm not like.
Totally. The Korean girl with the GoPro is so much scarier than every other clip to me for some reason. Agreed.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Why are Korean movies so much scarier than American movies?
I don't know.
Because being in a cultural context you don't understand is like stressful and scary.
So you're already scared just from
Yes,
hearing
yeah.
people speak another language and
Exactly.
eating food that
If
you
you
don't know
don't
what it's
understand,
called.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
ill at ease. Yeah,
It's the fear of being a tourist.
Yeah.
Not only are there ghosts, but also you don't know how to use the metro system.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know what like numbers you have to press first before you can then press the like American number.
That's right.
You
Lena
know.
You
said,
don't
did
know-
you guys see that Waze Blood commented "Scary Car Heart"?
Huh?
Lena said, "Waze Blood commented "Scary Car Heart." Did you guys see that? Waze Blood is a musician. He's
Oh,
famous.
who's and what do they do?
They make music.
I didn't
And
see
they
that. but
commented "Scary Car."
We
That
didn't see
rocks.
that.
Lena, can you
We didn't see that.
can you give us more information
how
about
fam-
that?
Can you tell me how famous they are?
Yeah. Here, Jeremy says, "Here's if Raisin Man became a horror instead of comedy. They should make the vaccine a zombie."
That's pretty
what
good.
Sam
We
said.
just gotta get Jeremy on the podcast because this guy's really
Okay, Simeon says Cronenberg's Fly is scary. I agree. I do think that's scary.
That Cronenberg movies are scary. No, wait, The Thing is scary.
I don't think those movies are scary.
No, dude, but it makes my skin crawl. Like the effects are really freaky deaky.
That stuff doesn't make my skin crawl.
Well, it makes
shut
my
up.
skin crawl, dude. it makes
I don't
it.
know. I'm sorry. I realize I'm in another moment where I'm not adding.
No. Hey,
Yeah.
dude, if
But
you
I-
wanna,
I-
if you wanna
I
fight,
disagree.
fight me.
disagree. I didn't find the life thing. I think when his finger snaps back, that sucked for me. Like I like shivered, but I didn't find it scary when he
shivered.
was eating the inside of his body, and I don't find it weird when you show like the things special effects.
Dude,
where
but
their
listen to
bodies-
what Sam does find scary. SpongeBob. Every time we talk about SpongeBob, without
He
fail,
talks
he
about that
goes,
being
when I was a
scary.
kid, I was scared. And then we were literally watching a SpongeBob compilation. Now, Sam being 29 years old, watching the SpongeBob compilation, I was like, Sam, check this out. These are all the classic lines you never saw when you were growing up, and we were laughing at them. And he goes, this is still scary to me.
Wow.
I believe that there are other children out there who are like me and who find like certain aspects of children's cartoons like deeply disturbing and sad and scary and like unknowable.
That's fine, but you can't stunt on me for being afraid of an
Yeah.
alien eating up your insides when the scariest thing to you is Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
I'm not stunting on you. I'm
You're
telling
stunting
it like
on me,
it
dude.
is. I'm telling it like it is.
You're dunking on me.
I'd eat an alien in a second. If I saw that little alien,
Just chomp it?
I would chomp on it right away.
Yeah.
No, wait. I was also thinking about, you know, what's scary. I think that thing you said about an observation or an image is right. Like in that, what was that name of that Korean movie that you played last?
Ganjam Haunted Asylum.
It had a great image. I'd never seen that before. But this girl is getting all scared. They're in the woods. They're in a haunted asylum, and then suddenly there's like a jump cut, and you get her friend's face. Her eyes have gone completely black, and she's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I would have never thought have someone with black eyes going. That would be
Totally.
so scary, but it
Totally.
was like that is a new concept
That was like
of
some
a thing that I'm
Momo
now scared
shit,
of. Yeah,
like some scary internet style. Yeah.
And then doesn't she walk up to her while she's doing that?
Yeah, she's like walking up to her. She just sees her friend standing, facing off into nothing. And then instead of it like coming in her fully turning the friend around, they just cut to the friend's face. You know,
Yeah,
which
but
is also
but then
scary,
when
the
they cut
timing of
away
it.
and you know she's doing the whisper thing, don't you continue seeing her from the other person's perspective, like far away for a second?
Yes. Yeah.
I think that there's something kind of funny to that. You know
Yes.
your friends, you know that they're being weird like that.
Yes.
But then you still see them far
Well, yeah,
away.
it's like the scariest thing is to see her like really close up, but then if you're like 5 feet away and your friend is going,
Yeah.
you're just like, what are you doing?
You're just clowning for the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really scary. Ugh.
Good. Well, I'm glad that people got scared.
I really liked your bit about the files.
Thank you.
I thought
I
that
think
was
that's
so funny. I related that to a friend.
What was the bit about the files?
With
How-
Empty Man.
With Empty
Oh,
Man,
yeah,
she
yeah.
showed 2 separate clips of him finding a file with his name on it. In one clip, there's nothing in the file, and in the other clip, the file's filled with stuff about him. And Sarah pointed out rightly that they were like, when they were making the movie, they thought, we know we want to do something with files, but we don't know what's scarier, finding a file that's empty with your name on it or finding a file that's full with your name on it. So they did both.
Yeah, and it's just funny because to have it's 2 separate like filing systems that he's found. Like one's like a cabin in the woods that has files, one's a hospital file. Like why spend so much time
Yes,
in that?
totally.
Yeah.
But
atmosphere?
files are the bread and butter
Yeah.
of a detective.
You know that's how Simpletown would do it, though. Half of us, files empty. Put the file empty. Half of us, files full.
Yeah.
And then we're like, guys, let's split the difference.
just do
Beginning
both.
file, you just do
Yeah.
both. You just move forward,
on
move forward,
one
move
s-
forward.
or it's one file, but on one side of it, there's lots of.
yeah,
On the other side, it's empty.
yeah.
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 No,
It's like splitting the baits. When King Solomon splits the baby in half, you'd think that getting both would be good, but actually getting both destroys the.
Well, I loved that both were in there. I thought, why not? The more, the merrier.
right. Why not? Why
Yeah.
the fuck not?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also thought it was funny because when I was actually watching it and he's going to the file cabinet and he discovers the file without anything in it, I was like, that's genius.
Yes.
To have because you think it's going to be full of shit. and
I
it's
think that's scarier.
Yeah, that's way scarier.
I think it's interesting.
I think
and
it's
scarier
scarier when
finding
it's
the
full
file.
of details about you, and then you go, they've been watching me. If there's nothing in it, you go, well, they know I exist, but they haven't really have gotten the materials together just yet.
Pop off on the chat which one you think is scarier. And if you're not in the chat, you're listening to this afterwards as you're driving somewhere. Just think about which one you think is
and
scarier.
then when you stop driving, share the episode on your Instagram story with a link to get to it, and then say which one you think.
Yeah.
This is a whole new season of Raisin Man. We are having fun doing it, and we're
Yes.
going to advertise it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
So the show was mad fun, and then afterwards, I have this problem of like when people come out to my shows, so many people with different plans afterwards, especially on like Halloween weekend. There was like 5 different options of like people from my life going different places, and everyone was going really far away, like Williamsburg, West Side of Manhattan.
I know, but
you
when
know.
you're in Gowanus, everywhere is far away.
I guess everything's far
You know
away.
what I'm saying?
But I really just wanted to like sit around because last year we did the Halloween show. Just like the people that work at Life World stayed, and we just had so much fun. But you kind of can't tell people that when they're like, well, what are you planning to do? And I'm like, well, I'm just going to kind of see if like an intimate vibe
Right.
develops
Yeah.
here, but I can't make that happen. And I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure, but I need to be sure that it's not going to happen. And then once I know that, then I'll
And
do
you can't
something.
say party at Life World after the show because
No.
what you really want is an intimate vibe.
Yes, it's just for people who want to hang around.
Right,
to hang
right,
around.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. It's also funny how
But
easy
there
it
was
is.
kind of an intimate
There
vibe. We
was,
were
there
dancing. It was
People
fun.
stayed for a long time, and
Yeah.
the room was full of fog.
That's funny because the whole time I was like, I'll stick around and kind of see what happens, and you were like, no, you should go to Williamsburg.
Oh, that's funny.
Wait, Sharon.
No, I wasn't like that. Wasn't like that. But it'd be funny
Yeah,
if
I
it
was trying
were.
to filter some people
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yo, you should go to the West Side.
Yo, there's a group going to the Upper West Side.
You should
Get
go,
him the
Sam.
Uber that's outside.
Can you take Sam
Yeah.
with you, please?
Yeah. Right before, I kept talking a big game about how I hate Halloween Weekend, which is a thing I decided last week that
That
I
was part of your
really
personality? 'Cause
Yeah.
You read on Twitter that if you're being into Halloween.
That's my
is-
personality.
Yeah, it's fucking lame.
Not liking
Yeah.
Halloween Weekend is not a. Well, I was just like, I don't like that thing where there's like a bunch of parties and it's like
What's the move?
half of my friends are here, half my friends are here.
Yeah.
Today I could, because it's like, I could lose out on the funnest thing in the world right now.
Totally.
Today, like this
Totally.
weekend,
Yeah.
I have the option of losing out on a fun thing, of
Yes.
missing
Yes.
out.
Well, yes. It's also funny because, like, so there's people who left, like, immediately after the show, but they were just, like, what do you call it? Like, the reconnaissance team to the rest of their friend group that were hanging around at
Right,
the
they
show.
were the scouts.
Yes, they were scouting to see if the party that they were going to was good or not. And if it was good, the rest would come. And I just kept hearing people like, oh, no, somebody texted me and said, like, it's dead. Like, it's not good.
Who told you that about what?
Um,
Because once you go to the Upper West Side, it's over.
Yeah.
Where else are you going to go after that?
No, I heard from my friends Ben
To
and Jack were there,
Yonkers.
and Kelsa had gone to a party, and she texted back and was like, no good.
Damn, but that's
Yeah.
like kamikaze scout because it's like you're
Yeah,
done. Night's
yeah.
over for you. What are you gonna get on?
Yeah.
Take another? Because
I know,
Ubers
the
were
Scout is really
$50 that night.
self-sacrifice. Yeah.
Ubers were
They're
$50 that
Yeah.
night. Insane. But I
Totally.
actually, so I was just gonna say, I kept complaining. I wish we could just. I kept saying, I wish we could just skip Halloween Weekend. I don't want to do this. And then I had a great time every single
I
night.
fucking bet.
I had a
Yeah.
fucking good ass time every single night.
That rules.
Yeah.
Me too.
Did you have
I
one?
fought
too?
with my girlfriend a little too much
That's never good.
for the weekend, but hopefully we got it all out now so that on New Year's there's no fighting because that's another
Oh my god, that's even
classic
worse.
time.
New
to
Year's is
fight
even
with your
worse.
partner.
Mhm.
New Year's Eve.
If you
Mhm.
if you can afford to, you should do a year of rest and relaxation just on New Year's, so you don't have to go through
Yeah,
through
totally.
the
I
night.
hate it.
Just
Totally.
sleep through all of it.
Yeah.
Awful day.
A new topic.
Please.
I've started working at Big Reuse. huge,
Woohoo,
life changing.
she got the
Last time I
job.
was on the podcast, I think I talked about. I was sort of jokingly, I was like, maybe I'll start working at Big Reviews. Then I went forward with that bit, and I worked there, and it's been amazing. But I'm struggling with like the only hard part of the job is that all day long people want to bargain with you and get better deals than like whatever is on the little stickers, and you're not allowed to give people deals at all. Even though people assume, because like if we go to secondhand stores, a lot of times you're able to haggle, but you're really not allowed to. And I don't know. I'm trying to like think of like why is it so difficult for me to just say no to people? Is it because I'm people pleasing, or is it like something else? But just constantly people are coming up to me being like, I'm buying this cage for a dog shelter that I run. Can I please have a
Do you
deal?
think it's because you're afraid of confrontation?
I think I'm afraid of confrontation, and I also think I just don't have a lot of respect for rules and institutions and systems. I think my, not even consciously, but subliminally, my personality has kind of internalized this idea that society is collapsing and that none of the old systems work anymore, and there's just no point for me to be upholding.
Right. So Big Reuse, you're imagining it like it's like people are
Chaotic
looting
neutral.
it. You're just like, let them loot it because we're on the final stage. Like
Yeah.
Rome is like being
Totally,
ransacked,
totally,
and I have to
totally,
allow
totally.
these people to
And I'm not
ransack
going to give you
it.
99 cents off of a bowl.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Of course, someone said the name of the game says it sounds like the same problem you had producing. That's right. It is.
Who's the name of the game one? We really have like a bunch of new people.
We
I've
got a
never
bunch
seen.
of people in the chat. Thanks so much for coming.
Did you know when I looked at the analytics? Sorry that I keep saying things that are like so
No, no.
unrelated to what we're talking about. When I looked at the analytics on SoundCloud, one of the biggest regions of people who listen to this is Barcelona. That
That makes
cannot
sense
be
to me.
right.
Wow.
That cannot be right.
That makes sense to me.
That
Wow.
cannot be right.
Barcelona. If you're listening from Barcelona, speak up.
Tell
I don't know
me.
anyone that lives there.
Tell me why.
That
Yeah.
makes sense to me because in Spain is a country that's famous for appetizers. You know, the tapas. It's
Okay.
a country known primarily for appetizers. And I
tapas.
love appetizers. So that's probably the kinship there.
Okay, Felipe, build on that.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something like Raisin Man is a sort of appetizer in the sense that it's like not really
Doesn't
about
really get into
anything. It's not
anything.
like a filling meal, but it's kind of, something you can kind of like chomp on.
Yeah.
But you're saying that they're picking up on your love of
I
appetizers.
like
And
appetizers.
that's coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be too.
Yeah. But Sarah, are you the person who's the person who sets the prices?
Everybody does all the jobs. It's very
Wow.
exciting that way. And you don't really even, they might be changing this, but you're not like assigned to do any particular thing. You just show up and sense what you should be doing. And a lot of times I sense that I should be doing the thing that I like to do the most, which is like, if I notice like, oh, there's a lot of Valentine's stuff, then I'm like, I'm going to put all of that like over here. And I'll
You
spend,
make
like, 2
you make like a
hours-
section.
Yes, making a little section. Or like I'll spend like an hour being like, there's like little displays, and I'll be like, I'm just gonna collect like the bowls I think are the prettiest and put them all on the display.
Whoa.
It's like
Interesting.
little things like that.
What other shit
But-
is there to do?
You gotta price stuff. People donate things all day long. This is also kind of exciting. And you just like open up these boxes and random bags and just find like whatever shit, like ski boots and
how do you price
antique
it?
tea sets. And then like most shit, you're just like, oh, this is like $1 or $2. But sometimes you can just tell something's kind of nice, and then you just Google it, and then you charge a third of whatever it's worth.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what if something came in and then the person bought it and they took to Antiques Roadshow and they're like, this costs, $1 million.
If they have it, like they buy it at our store and then they,
And then it turns out,
well, lucky for them.
Yeah, I
We're not
guess
supposed
you're
to
right.
let any of that shit get by.
what do you mean?
Yeah. Like if we notice that something's worth like $10,000, we're supposed to flag that and not put it out.
And you just keep it?
And then we keep it. One of us gets to take it. No, there's a person who's in charge of like
Expensive shit.
expensive shit.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Figuring that out. But
Interesting.
yeah, but I spend like a lot of time during the day just like someone will donate like a really nice tent, and I'll be like, how much is a nice but used tent worth? And I don't like take it out of the bag and assemble it and make sure it has no holes in it.
Right.
So I don't really know.
I'd pay $40 for that. $30? How much is a new
How much is a
tent?
new tent? Sometimes like $500. Yeah.
Can you have any swords or knives come in?
Knives come in all the time, and if they're too scary looking, I don't put them out. 'Cause
Really?
it freaks me out.
Right,
Someone's
no, of
just
course
gonna come
not.
Grab a huge butcher knife and start.
Wow.
Yeah, I just put them, and if someone else wants to put them out, they can do it, but I don't want to be responsible.
But there's like combat knives that are illegal to have, right?
I think so. Or
I
no?
don't know.
They're-
I,
what are the
I
regulations?
I had memorized all the laws in this, but I've forgotten.
I know definitely if you have a knife that looks like it's out of a video game like Counter-Strike, that you can't have that.
No, you can have that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Isn't that dangerous though? I mean, I guess it's no less dangerous than having a butcher knife.
I was a kid who had like cool knives. And my older brother had cool knives too that looked like from out of video games.
And what did you do with them?
We hid them from police raids and stuff like that. No, nothing. We just had them.
Okay.
And sometimes we'd brandish them. I don't know. But can I flag you now to say if like a samurai sword comes in, or
you
like
want that set aside.
yeah, can that be set aside?
Totally.
Thank you.
Totally.
Or like a suit of armor, a perfectly intact suit of armor.
Then you would be interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that. And I'm constantly looking out for stuff for people that I know. But stuff moves really fast there. A lot of times I'm like, oh, I'll buy that at the end of the day if nobody gets it. And then people always buy it.
Is it like always full? Are there
Yeah.
people coming in and out all the time?
all day long?
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I've never been there. Should I go?
You should come. It's
Do you think
awesome.
there would be
Come.
things I would
yeah, I
like?
want
You
to
should come.
come.
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. I work tomorrow.
Would you say like if you weren't working there, would you go in and be like most of the stuff is garbage? Or would
I
you
go
be
there
like-
all the time. That's why I decided to work there. I think the
Oh.
clothes are really good because they don't put all the clothes out that they get donated. They go through the clothes and only put out the stuff that's good. So, and they have a lot of clothes.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's more like L Train in that way, but not quite as like
Oh, like
fancy as some of that is.
but it's a little better than
But it's better than just like a
like
Goodwill.
Salvation Army or something.
Yeah, or Salvation
I
Army.
see.
Yeah.
Very
Great.
cool.
I gotta go.
Let's see the
So come by.
let's take a look at the chat real quick. What's
I'm
the
gonna go
best?
to the bathroom.
Oh, please. What's the best thing you've seen there? Says the name of the game one.
Best thing I've seen there. That's a good question. There's been nothing that's come in that I'm like, oh shit, I have to have that. But a lot of times people come up to the counter with clothes that they've like picked out, and I'm like, fuck, that's like a really fire, like pair of pants. And if I had known that was there,
I would
that
have
be
snagged it.
mine. Yeah, and then I feel kind of angry.
Fair enough. High-waisted, light wash jeans,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Carly says, "Can you steal if you want to?" I'd appoint myself head of stealing expensive shit. DJ Oily says, "Lil, I think it depends on length or something." I don't even know what we were
That's
talking about.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The name of the game.
Raising Man Antiques Roadshow episode says name of the game.
Yeah, we have the exact kind of expertise that you'd need for something like that. Then Tokyo Megaplex says, Sam seems like a calamari motherfucker. And that's in response to something that Kay said, but I don't
think
know.
that's on the subject of appetizers.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did say that before. And Jeremy says, can you give me a free lamp like how baristas give their friend a free coffee?
That's a good question. Nobody has come in yet to ask me for anything, so
No one has come in.
to see.
Well, I'm gonna come
I've been
in.
trying to vibe it out, but so far I think my employees can sense that I'm being too soft on the hagglers, and they
Mhm.
keep really getting on me about being like, "No, dude, don't
Sam,
give them a deal."
guess what? Sarah won't say this, but guess who Sarah's bosses said haggle the most?
What kind of person haggles the most?
Yeah. Can I say it?
Is
Mhm.
it like a race or a
They said that Russians and Dominicans.
really?
One of my coworkers told me that. Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
And you, what did you say?
The Russians are the hardest for me to say no to because they're
Why?
really stern. I feel like I'm kind of accustomed as like a young woman to people being kind of gentle with me in the world. But these Russian guys that come in that are like 50 years old, they're like stone faced. I'll tell them like that's $10 and they'll be like, no, it's $5. You know, I can't really do a Russian accent, but
Wow. What
Whoa.
do they see you not as a sweet little girl?
I don't know.
as
They don't
something
treat
else?
me like
They're
that.
You're like a peasant.
they're cold.
Yeah.
They're like, you're not. I don't.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, you're no one to me. Is kind of their attitude. And,
And
like,
you
I'll
could
get
be like,
what I
I'm the
want.
owner of the store.
Yeah.
I don't get anything out of giving you this. I don't get
Fuck
any
you.
pleasure out of
I
giving you
find
this.
all the Valentine stuff and I put it together. All right. So fuck off, buddy.
Totally. But it's just like I feel so unaccustomed to people like hitting me with that kind of aggressive energy. I'm so used to people just being like, "Oh, hi, let me get the door for you." Like, "Oh,
Yeah.
come in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, thanks so much
You're
for coming.
cutie.
Like, have a wonderful day." Yeah.
What about the Dominicans? Are they stern? Are they
They're
soulful?
not scary. They're just like really like deals. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's been my experience.
When your coworker said that, you should have said no. It's actually, and then you suggested another type of person.
Yeah. People are really fun. I mean, I told this to Felipe, but like it's really international there, and like people of all ages and socioeconomic classes and like artists and rich people all come in, and it's just like, but they are all kind of similar in that they're really into deals and that they don't mind like picking through trash.
Yeah.
So it's like one kind of person, but it's not like one kind of
That
type of
person is equally distributed
across
across
all
race and
cultures
class and ethnicity and
yes,
creed.
yes, and so it's pretty fun.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
And I'd love to ask
I got a
people-
little bit of that person in me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's true that America's not a haggling culture, though. You don't really haggle in the U.S.
yeah.
Am I wrong about this?
No, we have this very formalized. This is a store.
Right. This is a store. Yeah.
These items are worth this amount. The manufacturer,
Yeah.
the factory.
Yeah. Well, we went. Wait, where did we go?
Even
to?
you saying it like that, I can tell you don't respect it.
I don't respect it. I don't respect it. I'm like, because I don't know. To me, people should be able to be like, well, here's what it's worth to me. I will do it for
You
this
know,
much.
but there's
Yeah.
two. Well, I was gonna say one thing is the other day we went to this pizza place after that wedding, and it said, and there was a sign that said, "We're sorry that the pizza has gone up 50 cents. The problem is that with inflation, the raw materials have gone up, and we're not making a profit." 50 cents. Well, you had told me about this
Yes.
with another
Yes,
store where
yes,
they let you
yes.
know, but 50 cents, you don't even point it out to me. I've never
Yes,
been
I
to
wouldn't
this
even
pizza
notice.
shop. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Secondly, though, it's just that in America, you have these, you have these big stores, these big franchises, right?
Mhm.
And those have to standardize across the board.
Yes.
You can't haggle for a McDonald's hamburger because it needs to be the same everywhere.
Yes.
But if you're in a place where like the owner is the person at the counter, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
a more kind of fluid. But if you just are hiring teenagers or people who are like transient workers, you just got to be like, don't haggle, because then you might make more or less money depending on the person you've hired.
Yes. But I find it hard to kind of wrap my mind around like the chaos element of it, because like everything is donated. It just shows up in a random box. And then to have to be really strict about like, no, like that food processor is $6.99. Like there's no record of that food processor ever even coming into the store. It just gets dropped off. Someone puts a price on
Right.
it, gets put on the shelf. So for me to enforce like a strict line about the purchasing and sale of that, it just feels psychotic to me.
Totally.
I'm like, wait, you want it for $5.99? Okay, no one will ever know. But it is true that if we all took deals, that it would be like the store probably would make less money over time,
yeah.
because you're never negotiating for them to pay more. So
Have you been trained what happens if someone tries to steal something?
no, I'm scared of that.
Wow.
I wouldn't want to do that.
You should be like, I was taught when I worked at American Eagle one summer, I was taught that if you see someone like grabbing stuff and putting it in their pockets, you go up to them and then you're like, hey, I saw you were grabbing those pants. Like they would go great with this belt or something.
Wow.
You kind of jujitsu them. And in fact,
Wow.
the other day I was at Metrograph and I got this drink and I was with people and it was like really busy and the bartender was like a little like not paying attention. And the people I was with were like, just go, don't pay. And I was like, no, I can't do that. And they were like, just go. And then I wanted to be cool for them, right? I didn't want to be a
Funny.
nerd.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Oh,
okay,
you
I
have
won't
peer
pay. But
pressure.
it would like
Aw.
went totally against what I usually do. So I was like, okay, I won't pay. I keep going the night. And then this woman in a suit, like a real bouncer looking person, comes up and goes, do you have a tab open? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you got a Negroni. You have a tab open? And I was like, I'll go pay for it. But she did the same thing, right? Where it's like they give you an out. They let you pay for it. They're
Right.
like, I
They're
know
not
you
gonna-
took this.
They're not going to punch
yes,
you.
Right.
Yes. Put you in the little jail.
Yeah,
Well-
the Metrograph jail.
Yeah.
Get that. Here's an extreme of that is there was a guy who I talked to who used to run a club in Providence, and he was telling me how he had a bouncer who you'd have to pat people down it was a kind of club where you had to pat people down.
Sure.
Damn.
And this guy patted someone down, felt a Glock, like felt the gun, lets the guy in.
He had the blicky.
Then he goes up to him once he's inside the club later, and he says, hey, man, you got to leave if you're going to have that on you. And he was like, and then the guy with the gun said, hey, thanks for not stopping me at the door.
Huh.
Isn't that
Explain
interesting?
that. Explain that.
Well, because it's embarrassing to be in front of your crew, in front of your friends, whoever you're with, and you like get stopped on the door because you have a gun.
and then it becomes
And
a
then
conflict.
it
'cause
becomes
it's-
a
Right,
conflict
right,
and
right.
it escalates.
But imagine there's like a line outside the club. You're the bouncer. You feel the Glock. Guy goes in. Now clock's ticking because that Glock could go off at any minute.
Yeah.
And then you say to the people, "Yo, guys, wait up! No one's going in. There's a guy with a gun in there.
Hold on, I
gotta go talk to
Get him out.
him."
Because I'm peacefully de-escalating
Yeah.
the conflict.
He
And
has
then
an
now you got-
AR-15.
Now you gotta line out the door
Yeah.
of people waiting for you to do the thing you should have done in the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but I respect that because it's like
Totally.
smart intuition about
It's smart.
how
It's
people.
smart. Yeah. they
Carly
should-
says, "What if he starts shooting right away?" Like he goes, he's like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. They should do that at TSA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you get into the
You gotta
plane,
leave the plane with that water bottle.
bro. When I was in Argentina, I traveled from one province to another. So traveling countries, I can like it's quite lenient. Like I had a tool for my skateboard in the bag. Then I was traveling in between provinces, and one of the TSA guys, Argentinian TSA, was like, "You got a tool in there." He's like, "Take it out." And then before I take it out, he goes, "Wait." And then he like takes me to another table and he goes, "Face away from there because that's where the camera is." And we like give our backs to the camera, and he's looking at it and he's like, "You really can't take this, but just go."
What was it?
It was a skate tool, which is like this
yeah.
multi-purpose tool for like, and
which can be used as a gun. It can be made a gun in about a second.
yeah. And then as I walked to the plane, he walked sort of next to me, and I said, "Wait, do you want it?" And he's like, "No, go." What happened? He was just walking in the same direction as
That's
me.
funny.
Oh.
He was just going somewhere else.
You were
same
being
direction as
weird.
me, and I
Leave
was
him
blowing
alone.
his cover.
Totally. Yeah.
That's funny.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm really not like I wouldn't be a good TSA agent. I just always want to be like, okay, I'll make an
Totally.
exception.
That's about the
Oh, it's
worst
okay.
job you can have.
Yeah, because you're like
A
it's
producer,
water.
just below
Yes.
that. just below.
Just below
After
that.
producer, TSA is the
Yeah.
worst job you can have, Sarah.
Yeah. It's just funny. It's like every person comes up to the counter to buy something at the store with like a different story. Like someone will be like, "I'm buying this coat, but I'm just buying it to use the buttons. So can I just pay for the buttons?" You know, something
Like,
like that.
I don't
makes
care what the
zero
fuck you're
fucking
gonna use
sense.
it for.
You're taking the whole fucking coat. You're paying for the goddamn coat. But everybody's got these weird like explanations, and you just have to deal with like the strangeness of different people's ways of formulating
Yeah.
what makes sense to them and also what their intentions are in their life and like all this stuff. And it's just funny to engage with
You
it.
could say, "I'm buying this coat, but I don't really like it.
Yeah.
Can I pay less for it?"
Do
Yeah.
you have a workroom where the employees hang out and eat lunch and talk?
We have a
talks-
workroom, but we don't really chill back there.
Mm.
Yeah.
When you have lunch, where do you eat?
I go to Life World. This is 1 block away.
Nice.
And you get the Life World pizza.
And I get the Life World pizza in the fridge.
Wow.
Yeah, and I run a quick show and then I go back. Yeah.
You do a quick
Yeah.
one-woman
Do a
show.
quick, stand-up showcase.
Well, you should keep telling me stories about your work because I might be able to mine it for a television show
I was
idea.
thinking that. It's a funny environment. Yeah.
I'm just like a leech who sucks off my friends' experiences.
We should do a show where Simpletown is for Dominican hagglers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. It's also very relevant because I'm part of the green workforce.
The green workforce?
Because it's recycling center.
I see.
Is it a city thing or no?
No, it's a nonprofit though.
Oh, okay.
We're recyclers, so
Interesting.
even if it may seem like I'm dealing with like dusty old trash, I'm actually part of the future. The people that are doing the work to save our future.
Did you see a study that said that apparently plastic recycling is mostly fake? We've known this for a long time, right?
Oh,
But
Alex,
it's like
I'm so sorry. I just had to break this to Alex a
you
couple of days
you
ago.
told him
He didn't know. Yeah.
only like 5% of all plastic that gets put in the recycling actually gets recycled. Maybe
Yeah.
less.
Yeah, they can't reuse it for stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Alex says you're
you
wrong.
can still recycle the cans, Felipe. Okay.
the cans you can recycle.
So I don't want to see any cans in the trash. all
Bro,
right?
it ain't me drinking cans, all right?
No.
it ain't me.
Cans of beans. All right.
Cans of beans, that's right. So you can so the bean cans can be recycled?
The bean cans can be recycled.
I thought only the Diet Coke cans could be recycled, but not the bean
No.
ones because they have bean juice on them.
No, you have to wash them off.
You have to wash them.
I see. You can use bottles for making like fleeces that REI sells.
Those are made out of
Yeah, are they comfortable?
plastic bottles.
They're kind of itchy. Kind of harsh on your skin.
No, they're good. You know, there's like fleeces that are like made out of recycled
Excuse
plastic.
me. I burped into the microphone.
And you
No,
can
it's
use
okay,
the
it's okay.
bottle tops as like a little like a tiny little bikini.
Bikini.
Yeah, for the nipples.
That's true.
It's true. It's true.
Well, now we're hitting the hour, which
We're-
might be our new thing, where we just do an hour.
Yeah, we might just do an hour.
I'm cool with that. My mind is totally tanking.
Really?
Oh, you
Yeah.
seem so.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been hard for me to get words out.
Oh.
What?
I'm glad
Well-
I'm seen with it.
I feel like it's been a fun episode, if only because there's so many people
I know.
in the chat. It's so fun.
And but it's like I don't know what the control variable is, right?
Me
Is the
neither.
control variable that we should just do it at 4, or is the control variable that we should just do it really sporadically
yeah.
and just kind of miss a lot of episodes?
I don't think that can be that's unprofessional, so I wouldn't want to do that.
That's true. That is unprofessional.
But yeah, I like having all those people in the chat. And something else that I like about it is we already have this kind of concern that the podcast is like too niche. And then the chat is full of people who are also physically at the scary movie show on Saturday because they're talking about it.
Uh-huh.
And so now it's even like more niche. It's to like us and people who in real life
Right.
come and are in the same places
He's
as us.
happy about
Yeah.
that. You can hear it in his tone of voice.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do after, if I'm going to have a snack, if I'm going to skateboard.
What are you going to do after, Sarah?
Well, I'm hungry, so I guess nothing to eat. I was planning to go to the grocery store, and then I was also gonna maybe hang out with you guys.
Yeah, you should hang out with
Ooh,
us.
that's nice. I might
Yeah.
do that as well.
Simple
Okay.
Towns meeting. I can show you guys. I've been working on
Simple
a
Towns
on a
meeting.
3D design.
Oh, that's okay.
cool.
I'd rather like watch a movie or something.
No, we can't watch a movie. It's still the work there.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
All right, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Forest Sleigh. That's right.
Bye bye.